All right, good morning, Rabbi Isai. Mazel Tov, Reb Nachum, a great-grandfather. Wow, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. First time a great-grandfather, huh? Is it a special? When I became a grandfather, they said it's a special club. Is that a special club? Guaranteed Gan Eden. Doesn't everybody become a great-grandfather eventually? You mean in your lifetime? Okay. All right, Rabbi Isai, one email. What is this? I should read it out. Rabbi Schomburg invites the Tzibur to Shalom Zocher tonight. Bebeis HaMedrash Chanichei HaYeshivas Nachal Gilo 3, upstairs. Yishar Koyach, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Everybody was provided one of these, a mask and gloves. Look underneath your seat. Please wear them. Wow, Yaakov Citroen. Wow. Yaakov Citroen was in Bidud for 14 days. So welcome back. Unbelievable. He was in quarantine of 14 days. This is you're the first person I've seen coming out of. How is it?
You guys are lucky I don't have corona, otherwise you'll always be here.
You really don't have? You had it checked?
I got checked. Yeah.
Wow.
Before he went into the
I saw him here. He came to the shir the day before quarantine, then he goes into quarantine. Yishkoyach. He had us all worried for 14 days. I don't have a phone, so if anybody tried calling me the last day, it's gone. And therefore, I don't have pictures and stuff today because I need a phone for that. But I do have whatever. Long story. Since I realized I'm probably not going to make it to America for Pesach, as things are going right now, so I decided to repair it. It was a one-day repair. This is an email from my sister. It says, here is, I can't say his name, getting dialysis, our new normal, 3 times a week. 4 hours a pop. And doing the daf. As I told you learns with your brother each day, not the 8-minute, the full share. He loves it. Here's our friend. Let me see if I could enlarge it a little bit. Here we go. Here's this tzaddik doing the daf. Here it is right here with his earphones. Rabbi Isai, if he's doing the daf and dialysis, so if you guys are in Bidud, where's the pictures from Bidud? Quarantine. There are a few people that put themselves in self-quarantine, what is it called? Self-isolation, like Barak and a couple of others are gone until this whole story is over. You guys are brave. No, self-imposed quarantine. He's not in quarantine. Self-imposed quarantine. So if you're in self-imposed quarantine, please follow the shir, and we'll see what happens. I heard from somebody said a beautiful word. He said that the whole story with Yosef HaTzadik and Klal Yisrael and the Geula and everything that happened and the whole slavery and Matan Torah all happened because of a fly. The one fly that fell into the Sarah Mashkim's cup, and he ended up in jail, and he was able to come out and say, guys, the whole thing, and the whole corona started from one fly, one bat in China 2 days ago. Torah anytime. Okay. Beautiful. We are holding on the Vavam Dbeis. Omar. Omar, thank you. Im hoitzi vehichnis b'shoigeg chayav chatos. B'mezid onush kores v'niskal. We're going back to the Brisa. Beautiful Brisa, and we're going to take every word, we're going to dissect every word in the Brisa. We learned in the Brisa, if a person takes something from Reshut HaYachid to Reshut HaRabim, or from Reshut HaRabim to Reshut HaYachid, b'shoigeg chayav chatos. B'mezid onush kores v'niskal. If he does it on purpose, he gets kores, and if there are edim and hasra, he gets skila. They stone him. B'shagi chayev chatos, we have to understand those words. Pshita. It's not going to help you. Not going to help you, my friend. Bibi said last night, he had a thing, he said, if somebody sneezes in a room, it's like bullets shooting out. Everybody within his meter is if he has corona. So please stay away from each other. That's what he's saying. And we're sitting here, Azoi. So Avi moved away. He thinks that he just moved away. At one point,
Should we stop right now? Thank you.
Don't sneeze. Don't sneeze. Don't sneeze. Don't cough. Don't breathe. Ask the Gemara. Since we know that b'mezid Yechayev Kares, and the Halacha always is that anything that Yechayev Kares, you are Chayev Achatos if you do it by mistake. B'shoigeg Pshita. What's the chiddush? You're right. There is no chiddush. B'mezid Onush Kares v'niskal tzrichalei. We only need the other part of the brisa. That if you do it on purpose, you get skila and kares depending if they were edim. Hanami pshita. What's the chiddush in that? What's the Gemara's question? Why is that pashut? What's so pashut about that? I need to know what he gets. Where does the Torah say it? By the Mekoishesh, it says mefurish that he gets skila. Hakam ashmalon. Kidarav domarav motzosi megillas storim bei rebechia. Very interesting. In those days, they couldn't write any Gemara down. But if a person had a very unique shita, a shitas HaYachid, they would write it down as not to forget it. They never chazer the shita, nobody cared about it that much. But in order not to forget it, they would put it in a Megillah. They would write it down. It was a hidden Megillah. So he finds this hidden Megillah, because of Isi ben Yehuda Omer. This is what it says in the Megillah. Isi ben Yehuda says, Avos melachos arba'im chaser achas. How many melachos are there? 40 minus 1. 39. Ve'einoi chayev elo achas. No sneezing.
Take tissues. There's tissue. Sneeze in the tissue. Sneeze in the tissue.
I can't believe you're here. This guy's not been touching people for like 3 months already. And he's sitting here. Beautiful. Hillel, beautiful. No, it's a Kiddush Hashem that we're all here. Hashem should have Rachmanis on everybody and save us from Corona and save the whole world and whatever. Akabonim. So Isi ben Yehuda says, listen to this. If you do all 39 melachas, if you just read it simply, you do 39 melachas, you only have to bring one carbon. It'll cost you 1,500 shekel. That's it. Eini. In other words, what is he saying? He's saying all melachas Shabbos. They all come from one source. Don't be mechal Shabbos. It doesn't matter if I plow my field, if I reap the field, if I do tzira, whatever I do, it's all under one umbrella, and I'm chayiv one. Now that can't be. The Gemara goes away from this right away. But that's the Havamim. Listen to this. I find this difficult, but it seems very simple to Rashi, that if the Mishnah describes in Daf Ayin Gimel all the Melachos, all 39, goes through each and every one. So we know how to count. 1, 2, 3. So why does the Mishnah have to waste its breath by telling me the amount? Okay, to me, I would love somebody to tell me at the end, by the way, you don't have to count, it's 39. It's not like 4 or 5. It's a large number. Nevertheless, the Gemara has a problem with that. Why do I need a number? Says Rabbi Yochanan that I'm chayiv on each and every one if I did it with one awareness. Now, if you just read it simply, you would think, okay, what is he coming to say? They chayiv 39. But Rashi says even better than that. You're only chayiv 39. The max that you can reach is 39. Why would I think you chayiv more than 39? Because every av has a tolda. Says Rashi that the Gemara is coming to say that you never chayiv on a tolda. You're always chayiv just for the av and nothing more. So the most a person can be chayiv on one Shabbos and one Helem is 39 korbanos. Okay, so it's 39. It's a lot more than one that Isi ben Yehuda said. Isi ben Yehuda said, if you do 39, you chayiv one. So it can't be that that's what he meant. Eleima in chayiv al achas mehem. Isi ben Yehuda is coming to say a major chiddush. One out of these 39, and you have to figure it out, you don't get misa. If you're over Isser D'Oraisa on Shabbos on a Malacha, you don't get Misa. One of the 39. So, going back to our question, why does our Brisa have to say, by the way, you get Skila, you get Karas, to tell me that this Melacha called Eitzah is not what Isi ben Yehuda was talking about. Isi ben Yehuda is talking about 38 other ones. Go figure out 38 other Melachas. Which one it's not? This one it is Chayiv, Karas, and Skila. This Melacha called Eitzah is not one of the ones that we have a problem with, and we don't know if this is what Isi ben Yehuda meant. Omar,
Which one is it?
we'll figure it out. Omar, Aval Yom Ubika V'Stavonis V'Karmelis Einon Loikir Reshut HaYachid V'Loikir Reshut HaRabim. So it says in the Brisa that a sea, a valley, it's Stavonis, we said, is a stav. It's one of those benches in front of a store. V'Karmelis. Now, what's Yam Bikoy Stavanis? They are Karameilit. They're in the category of Karameilit. We're describing Karameilit. What's a Karameilit? A Yam, a Bika, it's Stavanis. And then it sticks in the word Veha Karameilit. So we need to address that. What's the extra word? Karameilit. Einon Loikir Reshut HaYachid Loikir Reshut HaRabim. They're neither. They're in between. They're not as large as Reshut HaRabim. They're not like Reshut HaYachid. So, as the Gemara, Ubika Eino Loikir Reshut HaYachid, the Gemara is addressing another point. The Bika, the valley. So you're telling me a Bika is not a Reshut HaRabim, not a Reshut HaYachid. What is it? It's a Karameilit. Ubika Eino Loikir Reshut HaYachid, Loikir Reshut HaRabim, but nah, and it says before in the Mishnah. Habika b'moisachama Reshut HaYachid l'Shabbos. You have a field. What's a field? So it depends. Do people walk through it? Do they not walk through it? In the summertime, it's considered Reshut HaYachid. Nobody walks through it. It's my own private field. So in Mela, it's a Reshut HaYachid Shabbos. If I carry from Reshut HaRabim into my Bika, I'm Chayiv. Here's the big Chiddush, and the only difference in the whole thing here, Reshut HaRabim l'Tumah. This is Halacha when it comes to Tumah, that if I have a suffix, I have a doubt of Tumah in a Reshut HaRabim, it's tar. If it's the same doubt, I take that same example, that same case, and I transfer it over to Reshut HaYachid, it's Tomeh. So what does this field consist of Reshut HaRabim and Reshut HaYachid? Big Chiddush. When it comes to Tumah of a Reshut HaRabim, my field is considered a Reshut HaRabim. Why? Because 5-10 people walk through there a day, a month, I don't know. So it's no longer a Reshut HaYachid, Reshut HaRabim. Why? So Rashi brings the whole thing that, where do I know the whole concept of suffix Tumah and Reshut HaRabim? I learned it from a Saita. And a Saita has to be nistar, she has to be secluded with 0 people there. So Mela, this field that has more than 0 people, it's already not a Reshut HaRabim, it's already a Reshut HaRabim l'Tumah. Fine. What's the point that the Gemara is trying to get to? The word beforehand. What's a Bika? In the summertime, it's a Reshut HaYachid. Not only that, the Mishnah continues, in the wintertime, Reshut HaYachid lekan lekan. A Bika is not a Karameilit. A Bika is a Reshut HaYachid. So why are you telling me that in the category of Karameilit I have a Bika? I have a valley, I have a field. Over here it says Mefurish that in the winter, a field is considered Reshut HaYachid for Shabbos, for Tumah. In the summer, it's considered Reshut HaYachid for Shabbos. But it's a Reshut HaYachid, not a Karameilit. So we have to address this. Says the Gemara, no, our Bryce is right. A Bika is a Karameilit. So then why does it say in the Mishnah that a Bika is a Reshut HaYachid? Omar Ula, 2 pshatim. Now notice the author of this pshat. Who says this pshat? Ula. Omar Ula, Lo'ilam Karameilit Habi. No, a Bika is considered a Karameilit. V'amai kari lo Reshut HaYachid. L'fi shein Reshut HaRabim. It's just telling me, what? No, it's not funny. Because no, we're trying to say that it's not a Reshut HaYachid for Tumah. When it comes to Tomeh, you have Reshut HaYachid and Reshut HaRabim. So it's not Reshut HaYachid. It's not Reshut HaRabim. What's the opposite of Reshut HaRabim? Reshut HaYachid. So I use the language to tell me what it's not. When it's the summer, so I consider it Reshut HaRabim for Tomeh, because there are a few people that walk through there. When it's the winter, there's a crop on the ground, nobody walks through my field. So if nobody walks through my field, so when it comes to Tomeh, if I have a suffix Tomeh, then it's a Reshut HaYachid. In the summer, some not such nice people decide to make it a shortcut. They shouldn't be going through my field. They might be ruining my seeds over there, but they do. So it's a Reshut HaRabim, meaning it's not a Reshut HaYachid. So I call it a Reshut HaRabim. To call it a Karameilit would be funny. It's not the opposite of Reshut HaRabim. When it comes to Tomeh, I have two options: Reshut HaYachid, Reshut HaRabim. Karameilit is never a discussion when it comes to Tomeh. So therefore, I use the word called Reshut HaYachid. So Mela, but in terms of what is it halachically? Halachically, a field, a bikah is Reshut HaYachid, is a Karameilit, not a Reshut HaYachid. Over there, I call it Reshut HaYachid because it has to do with Tomeh. Fine. Rashi Omar, now in Daf Zayin, could go in this lamechitza. He comes with a crazy chiddush. You know what kind of field I'm talking about? I have a field that's 7 miles long, but guess what? It has a fence all around it. I'm a mela. The what? So that's why it's Reshut HaYachid. Now, v'chiha the Omar Ula. So he brings a proof from Ula who just answered another answer. See what's going on here? Who's the first answer? Ula. Rav Ashi says, I'm talking about a place with a mechitza, and I'll prove it to you from Ula. And the Gemara is going to ask right away, so why doesn't Ula say his own svara? Rav Ashi is using Ula, let Ula say this. If you have a place that's more than 50 amma by 100 amma, which is the size of the chutz in the Mishkan, shalai hukav ledira. Hukav ledira is just the concept that if I build a house, and then I go around the house, I put a fence around my house, no matter how big it is, then everything within that fence is for my house. It's ledira. So then I could carry inside that fence. What if I make a fence and there's no house? That's lo yukav ledira. Then I can't even carry in there. But it's still considered Reshut HaYachid. Vafilu kurayim, that's huge. It's still considered Reshut HaYachid. Why? Because it has a fence. Chacham said, don't carry in there. You're gonna start getting confused. It's so large, you might start carrying in Reshut HaRabim. Now, it's funny, almost funny, because when I read out loud, I might call it Reshut HaYachid, Levishen Reshut HaRabim, so he started laughing. It's not so funny, because the Gemara says, Bishleim Rav Ashi lo Omar Kidu Ula. It makes a lot of sense he didn't say like Ula, because it's almost funny. Like, that's not what it says. Ela Ula, my time how come Ula doesn't say like in his own self? Say we're talking about a field that has a big mechitza. Why are you calling it a bika? Bika karila. Karfafi. It's not a bika, it's a karfaf. It has a different name. Whatever, in the time of the Gemara, if somebody had a field with a fence, it was called a karfaf, not a bika. It just doesn't fit into the language of bika. We're talking about a bika. Rashi, Reshut HaYachid katani. You got a problem. He says, you're right. You have to pick your poison. One of them is no good. On the one hand, it's called a bika. Bika is not a karfaf. But on the other hand, it says Reshut HaYachid. Reshut HaYachid has a fence. We know Reshut HaYachid has to have a fence that's 10 tefachim. So he grabs this one and makes more sense for him to say Reshut HaYachid, a fence. He says no, it means a Karameilit without, to exclude a Reshut HaYachid. Nusog of our Karameilit. So that's what I was describing before. It says Yam Bikoy Stavanis, Veha Karameilit. We have to understand what Veha Karameilit comes to add. Or the Kulu Nami Lav Karameilit Ninu, they're all Karameilit. By the way, I called up Oiz V'Hadar yesterday and Meir's Daf Yomi, which are the same. and they gave me permission to use all their pictures. They have beautiful pictures in the Ma'ar's Daf Yomi. Also, they have those beautiful pictures I used yesterday. And not only that, he came running over to my house last night, I don't know, like 9, 10 o'clock. No, when was it? Before or after share? It was before. So like 9 o'clock, he came to my house, knocked on the door, and he gave me a present from Oizv Hadar, a beautiful sefer with all their pictures on Erevin. So we have Reshus now from Oizv Hadar, from Art Scroll, from Mesifta, which is Oizv Hadar, and from Shait's book, the Lamatas Malachos. So we're good. The only problem is that my phone is not working, so I couldn't do anything with those beautiful pictures. So this is the best I could come up with. I don't have internet. Serious. This is what I came up with. It's going to make sense though in a second. Says the Gemara, this is only Pshat 1 in Rashi. Pshat 2 is too difficult for me. Basically, here's Reshut HaRabim. This is a thoroughfare right here on top. So the problem is, this is set back. This house is set back. So occasionally you see this, and we have it occasionally in Chicago. Like you go down a block, all of a sudden some Meshuggah built a house like way back in. He has no backyard, but he has a giant front yard. So the question is, do people use this? The Gemara says nobody wants to use it. It's really, it's not comfortable to use this area. So that's what he's saying, that this area, this blank right over here, is considered a Karameilit. Fine.
The guy with the house is only using it?
Well, the guy that owns the house, that's his Reshut HaYachid maybe. We're talking about Klape the Reshut HaRabim. You see this whole area, no, there's no gate. This whole area is Reshut HaRabim, and it dips into here. That's not a Reshut HaRabim. That's a new gather called a Karameilit. Now, Rashi brings another pshat that this is problematic slightly because this actually has 3 walls. 1, 2, 3. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Another pshat is that it's on an angle, so it doesn't have 3 walls in every direction. Had I had my phone, we would have had a better picture today. Bezer Hashem, the guy didn't rip me off, and I'll have my phone back today. I tried calling him last night, no answer. Zog the Gemara. What? No, somebody gave me a temporary, but I don't have WhatsApp, I don't have anything on it. Just I could dial.
Seriously?
It's terrible. It's a different life. Different life. I'm getting used to life with Corona. You'll see. I'll be one step ahead of you guys. No communication, nothing. Zog the Gemara. At the end of the day, people do push themselves in there. If it gets too crowded, they're going to walk up onto the grass over there. Here the Gemara even uses this lashon. It's not going to be a doichak later on when we say it. The Gemara here says it. It's not comfortable to use. It's not, what's the word? It's not straight. You have to go out of it. You have to make a very sharp turn to get in there. You're going straight. You have this big wagon. You're driving. Well, you don't want to go in there. So Mela ki Karameilit dummy. It has halacha of a Karameilit. Now we're going to go into a few halachas of Karameilit and Makim Ptur. Says Rabbi Yochanan, the name of Rav Dimi. Bein ha'amudim nidon ki Karameilit. They had these beams, pillars, in middle of the road. So it's a great gimmick. You're driving down the highway, all of a sudden there's a beam. Now, I don't know if you travel, you go through, you get off the plane, they put you right into duty free. You have no option. You can't go right. You're in duty free. That's the only way to get out of the gate, right? You don't know what I'm talking about? In Europe, they put you in the. You could close your eyes, whatever. But if not, you have to smell the perfume, look at the whiskey, whatever. So you're driving down the Reshut HaRabim, and there's a beam right in front of you. So you have to buy. You have to look at least at whatever he's selling. So what halacha does this beam have? Now Taisus points out right away. The beam doesn't take away from my Reshut HaRabim that's 16 amas. It goes from here, 16 amas wide. I have a beam in the middle. It's part of Reshut HaRabim. You just have to make a sharp turn around it and go around it. There's a bunch of beams. They sell the rights, I guess, or people's. I don't know how it worked in those days. Every guy has their beam, and you have to start going like this. Navigate through these beams. So what's that halacha of these beams? Nidon ke Karameilit. Look, it's not comfortable to go through there. So the beams don't go across the entire highway. They take up one lane, let's say, on the right. The right lane is full of beams. So you have to get out of your right lane and merge into the left and keep on going.
Flatbush when you're driving under the overhead train. You know what I'm talking about in Flatbush?
Yeah, what the subway, the
beams on
stores.
both sides. You're driving.
Oh, New Utrecht, New Utrecht,
So
yeah.
is that considered like like you know, it's like it's a little tight over there, you know?
All right. Yeah, that's where I learned how to drive. So if you ever see me drive here, those beings were to save the people walking on the sidewalks. So at the end of the day, the right lane over there turns into a Karameilit. Because you don't really drive there, and if you do, it's very difficult, it's a Karameilit. Even though a lot of people in between the beams, it's not gishmak to go there, Karameilit. Or Reb Zera Reb Yehuda, it's taba. Now this one is even worse. This is a bench, a low-level bench. Shlefnei hamudim, right in front of this guy's in mechutzav. Not only they put a big beam there, he starts laying out like a table that's connected to the ground. It's taba. Shoe shiner, whatever you want to call it. Nah. Shmaka stuff, the shekel stores. It's the kites. You know the guy, when you go back there, he sells kites. And when you go on the back road, that Arab, he has a bird in a cage. For some reason, he thinks everybody wants a bird in a cage, and a kite. Those are the two. Yosef knows what I'm talking about.
I do, but it's a visual aid.
What? That's why I want to stop my car and get out, and that's exactly what my kids need today. Is a plastic bird in a cage. And a kite in the middle of the winter, in the rain. It's Tabash of Nei Amudim, Nidak Karameilit. That's also Karameilit. Lemando Amar Bein Amudim, Kolchkin, Staba. And now Staba is more difficult to navigate around, so therefore that's certainly considered a Karameilit. Lemando Amar Staba, but if I say that only it's Staba is a Karameilit, it's Staba Dele Nichet Ashmishte. It's very difficult. How are you going to get your car over a bench? Avo Bein Amudim, but you could. Some people actually like driving between the cones and everything. That's fun. The Nichel Shmishne loy. The Shnachrina seems like the same thing. Avabein Amudim the Zivn and the Dar Seli Rabim. Sometimes people do walk between the Amudim. You could walk there. Reshut HaRabim Damya, and he'll say only it's Taba as a Karameilit, not the Amudim. Amar Rav Rashil Amar Rav Amar Rav Chizda. Leveinos Kufa B'Reshut. This is very interesting. What about objects in the middle of the highway? Objects. You have like a dead deer, roadkill. You have, yeah, I once went from a lot with my family, and this Arab driver, because eventually I caught up to him, he had these, what do they call the stuff that you put merchandise on? The wood pallets. Had a truck full of pallets, and they weren't tied down. And every 10 feet there was a pallet. So if you run over a pallet, you get a flat tire from all the nails and everything. So there's cars all over the road, pallets, wood, cars, there's a mess. So what halacha does that have? Does that create a problem with Reshut HaRabim? Does it take away from Reshut HaRabim? Says the Gemara, well, it depends what we're dealing with. What about a pile of waste? A dog went to the bathroom in the middle of Reshut HaRabim, nobody's going to walk on it. So does it take away from the Reshut HaRabim or not? So these are the halachas of Makom Ptur. Leveina's kufa. You have a nice size stone, 3x3 stone. Reshut HaRabim. V'zorak v'toch b'fonel. And a guy took something like silly putty. What do the kids play with? That stuff that sticks to the wall. He took it and he threw it. He was playing a game and he tried to hit like the stone. And in fact, he hit it. And it was exactly 4 amos away from him. And it stuck to the side of that stone. The Gemara is going to describe, in those days they didn't have silly putty. What is it called? That sticky stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Slime. Very good. But in those days it was called a wet fig. Other people today call it wet toilet paper. Whatever, there's different ways to do it. But the point is to get something to stick to a vertical surface. So he stuck this thing to a vertical surface. Chayav. Agaba patur. If you play this game, like the toss game, and you get it to stick on top of the stone, you're patur. Why? Because the top of the stone is a Makom Ptur. Makom Ptur, you have a certain size, in the middle of Reshut HaRabim, nobody's driving over it, nobody's walking over it, they go around it. So now in the middle of Reshut HaRabim, I have a Makom Ptur. it's not Dalet Amis because these stones are 3 by 3. The typical stone in the time of the Gemara was 3 by 3. The question is how high it is. But the width is 3 by 3 because if it was 4 by 4, then it'll be something else. Then that'll be a Karameilit. What? You threw Dalet Amis, not Dalet Tfachim. You're 4 Amis away from it. In order to be over carrying in Reshut HaRabim, you have to go 4 Amis. He tossed it 4 Amis and it landed on the vertical surface of the stone. And the stone, the top part, is a Makom P'tur. Now, why is this considered a Reshut HaRabim? Because it's above Reshut HaRabim. The problem is that we learned the other day that you have to place it on something that's 4 Tfachim. Where do you have 4 Tfachim here? It's the side of a wall. It's above the Reshut HaRabim, great, but it's not on a 4 Tfachim area. What's the answer? What? Says the Riva. Taisus brings the kasha. He says because it's above the ground, so therefore it's part of the ground. It's like it's in the ear of the ground, and the ground it's something that we didn't have before. Because now it's like suspended in the ear. So now it's using. It's literally kluta. It's not kick. It's like it's stuck here in mid-ear. So it uses the surface of the ground, and the surface of the ground is more than 4 tefachim. But Rabbi Natan doesn't like that at all, and he says therefore you have to say that this stone is actually 4 by 4. So it's as if it used the 4 by 4 area of the top.
Why you put it on top then?
Because then it becomes a Makom P'tur. So that Azoi gate. Fine. Abaya v'rova d'amrit avayu v'hu shigavoya shloisha. This stone must be at least 3 tefachim high. Eli Stefansky. Now, if it's less than 3 tefachim, what do we call that? Lavot. It's part of the ground. But more than 3 tefachim, nobody steps over it, nobody steps on it, and it's not considered Reshut HaRabim. Aval hizmi v'higi. You have a bunch of thorns. Avagav the loigvi shloisha. Then you don't need 3 tefachim because nobody's stepping on this thing. Now, this stone, if they were to step on it, then it becomes batal. But higmi v'hizmi, nobody's stepping on thorns. Nobody wants to get damaged unless you have shoes. You don't have shoes, you're not going to step on it. And Memela, even less than 3 tefachim is a Makom P'tur in the middle of Reshut HaRabim. V'chiyah barava ma'afilu hizmi v'higi avot soya loy. So he says no, but soya, nobody steps on soya. It's disgusting. So Memela, that's a Makom P'tur in the middle of Reshut HaRabim. Rav Ashi Omar afilu tsoya. So Rav Ashi is saying that you can't start playing games here. You have a highway. You're going to start checking every inch and say, oh, this people step on, that's a this, and this people that. Everything is bottled. Everything's going to be part of the highway because a deer once had some waste on this part of the highway, so that becomes a Makom P'tur for this minute. So everything becomes bottled. Now, yes, if it's something very large and permanent and it's 3 tefachim, then not. But anything under 3 tefachim is loved, it's bottled to the highway. That's what he holds. The Beir Rav Shila. Sheila with the hey, Aleph. Kiyaser Avdimi Omar Rav Yochanan Ein Karameilit Pchusa Marba. A Karameilit must be 4 tefachim. Now, if it's less than 4 tefachim, what is it? A Makom P'tur. So, if it's a Makom P'tur, what's the difference between a Karameilit and a Makom P'tur? Makom P'tur, I can move my object from the Makom P'tur to my Reshut HaYachid, or from the Makom P'tur to Reshut HaRabim. But if this Karameilit says 4 tefachim, then it's a Karameilit. Why is it not a Reshut HaYachid? It has 4 tefachim because it doesn't have 10 tefachim. It has to be 10 tefachim high. It has to have walls that are 10 tefachim. So it's called a Karameilit. It's 4 tefachim. What is going on here? What is Rav Sheshes saying? So Rav Sheshes, at the end of the sugya, is going to tell us that a Karameilit, a tremendous chiddush, cannot be above 10 tefachim. Similar to Reshut HaRabim. Above 10 tefachim is no longer a Karameilit. But the Gemara needs to get there and prove it that that's what he meant. It needs to have a 10 tefachim mechitza in order for it to be a Karameilit, similar to Reshut HaYachid. Biloi lo have a Karameilit V'loy v'amar Rav Gidol amar Rav Chia bar Yosef amar Rav Bayis shein b'toich ha'asara v'kiruyoy mishlim l'asara. What if you have a house that doesn't have 10 tefachim? It's, I don't know, 4.5 feet tall. That's pretty much what it is. If anybody went to Venice, you see like in the Jewish ghetto, the houses are, it looks like literally the 5 feet tall. I don't know how, I never went into one, but they built them, they shoved the Yidden Nebuch into these mini floors. Anyway, it still exists till today. I think people still live there. Maybe just to look like that. Maybe it's 7 feet. I don't know. But it was very short. But it's not 4.5 feet. 4.5 feet is crazy. A guy made a house that's 4.5 feet tall. Vikiruyoy mashlim l'asor. What's going on here? If you look at the house from the exterior, I don't know. No, this is 9 tefachim. Smaller. 3 feet. Okay, 3 feet. And what? A tefach is like 6 inches, right? Okay. Really? No way. Look at this. 5 inches, I think they say it is. How much? I have no idea what centimeters are. Anyways, no mashana. It doesn't matter. You get that. You get the picture. A guy built a house. He built a doghouse. But kids, it's not. What?
1 meter.
1 meter.
10 centimeters.
Okay, fine. 1 meter. Say it. I go upon him. So what's going on here? We have an exterior wall and an interior wall. The interior wall is not 10 tefachim. But the exterior wall is. Why? Because you have the roof. You have to count everything. So it says like this. Al gagoy mutal b'kulay. On the roof of this small structure, on this doghouse, it becomes a Reshut HaYachid. Because now I have 10 tefachim high and it's 4 tefachim wide. It's a Reshut HaYachid. So Rashi says, at the end of the day, how do I have 10 tefachim? I don't know why he has to come out to it, but it seems like he says there's a good asik over here. Fine. I think Rashi says that here. Good asik that, well, B'kitzur, even if you have a wall, and that goes, I was thinking about, Yossi was telling me that it doesn't really work. But anyways, you can take a wall and extend it upwards. That's not the point. The point is, it says in Mefurish that if it doesn't have 10 tefachim, then it turns into a Karameilit. You see, you don't need 10 tefachim to make it a Karameilit. Why are you telling me that that's the pshat in what he said? But Toifesis the Adasara means you need at least 10 tefachim. You don't need 10 tefachim. It's a Karameilit. Elamai v'Toifesis Adasara. The Adasara who the Havi Karameilit. Mem lamal ma'asara tefachim lo Havi Karameilit. Okay. So if we stop right here, the halacha is, there is no Karameilit above 10 tefachim. It's like a Reshut HaRabim. Anything above 10 tefachim is Mokim P'tur. So let me ask you, what's going on here? What are we talking about? Everybody should ask this question. If it's 4 tefachim, and it's 10 tefachim high, what is that called? That's Reshut HaYachid. So we can't be talking about that. You tell me, oh, if it's above 10 tefachim, there is no Karameilit. Yishkoyach, that's called Reshut HaYachid. Anything that's 4 tefachim by 10 tefachim high is Reshut HaYachid. Forget about there's no Karameilit above 10. That's called Reshut HaYachid, and it will be a Reshut HaYachid above 10. What do you mean? No. Sorry. No, let's go back. Wokav Ladira is only in a situation where it's a giant place. A karfaf. But if you have a small place that has asar tefachim, a mechitzas, that's a Reshut HaYachid. Everybody else is Reshut HaYachid. In a giant course of sayim, we're talking about 50 by 100 over there. That you have to be makif ladira. You have to first build a house and then build a fence. You can't build a fence around your field. That's fine. Anyways, Akapan, let's just get to the bottom line here because time is late. Big long Rashi goes through all the steps. We have to be talking about that a guy caught it in midair above a Karameilit. He's in a bik and he caught it. Otherwise, if he has something that's 4 tefachim that extends above 10, then it's Reshut HaYachid. So we're talking about somebody who threw it. Or he says that it's on the side of a wall in a Karameilit. There's a wall in a Karameilit, and he removed an object above 10 tefachim in the Karameilit, that's not a Karameilit because it's above 10 tefachim. But you can't say that it's on top of something that already exists. If it's 3 by 3, it's a Mokum P'tur. Right? Less than 4 tefachim is not even a Karameilit. In order to be a Karameilit, you have to be 4 tefachim. You're in the sea, right? What's one of the things? A sea is a Karameilit. Ocean. So a guy has a beam, so in order to be a Karameilit, you have to be 4 by 4. And the Gemara tells us that anything 4 by 4 above 10 tefachim is not a Karameilit. Yishkoyach. 4 by 4 above 10 tefachim is the Reshut HaYachid. Elamai, it's 3 by 3 above 10 tefachim. Then it's not a Karameilit, that's a Mokum P'tur. So you have to be saying that he threw it. Okay, let's go back there. Sharp on. Like the heaven of the Shabbos. You should never be involved in anything that has to do with Shabbos above 10 tefachim, because 10 tefachim is not, it's a Mokum P'tur. Why do you say this? No, it's kind of Reshut HaYachid. If somebody's playing basketball and you put a pole in the middle, he's in the Reshut HaYachid in his backyard. He put a pole and he's trying to play. There went all the Corona Geschmack. In other words, Reshut HaYachid goes, extends. Let's turn the page. Daf Zayin Amud Beis. Fine. We're right where we need to be. 7 minutes left for Amud Beis. That goes back to Ari Kushner, who said that in Shabbos, Amud Beis is going to be plenty of time. Eladei Reshut HaRabim L'Mala Ma'asara. So, what is it telling me? That Reshut HaRabim is not above 10 Tvachim? Mas Nisani. I don't need that. He doesn't have to say Shinano. By the way, don't go above 10 Tvachim. That's a Mishnah. Of course, Shmuel knew the Mishnah. It's not a Zorig Arba Amis Bakoisel L'Mala Ma'asar Tvachim Gezorig Ba'aver. I throw something at a wall above 10 Tvachim, it's nothing. L'Mata Ma'asar Tvachim Gezorig Baretz. But if I threw it below 10 Tvachim, then it's Hoitzah. Elo, a Karameilit. Then Karameilit L'Mal, no, ear above 10 Tvachim Reshut HaRabim is a Mokum P'tur, it's nothing. Elo Karameilit, obviously he's talking about a Karameilit above 10 Tvachim, L'Mala Mas, then Karameilit L'Mala Ma'asar. That's our Halacha. A Karameilit doesn't exist above 10 Tvachim. So now we have Pashut. A Karameilit has to be at least 4 tefachim wide and cannot extend above 10 tefachim high. Says the Gemara, beautiful. Since a Karameilit is only a Reshus Midrabanan, they made it likula in both directions. Now what? You need at least 4 tefachim by 4 tefachim. Anything less is called a Mokum P'tur. I'm going to take the kula that we have in Reshut HaRabim. It only extends up to 10 tefachim. Gufa. In the name of Rav. Right? We had before. You have a house. He says it's less than a meter tall. Very small house, 3 feet tall. But its roof is very thick, and you have 10 tvachim. The roof is considered Reshut HaYachid because it's 10 tvachim high. Inside is a Karameilit, and I could only walk 4 amas. With an object. So this clown decides to dig out in the middle of his doghouse a 4 by 4 area so he could stand. He crawls in like a dog. And then he's going to stand in the middle, stand up. How does he do so? He digs in the middle of the room. Now he has a shelf in the middle of his room. It goes like this, right? He has a little pit. There he could stand, it's 10 tvachim, but the rest is 3 feet tall. I could carry on the shelf, on the 3-foot part. My timer? So now the Gemara introduces a new concept called the holes in Reshut HaYachid. It's a shelf. Just like I have a shelf in my house, my whole house is a shelf. I just have a 4 by 4 place where I can stand like a mensch. But the rest of my house is a shelf. And a shelf, Reshut HaYachid, now, okay, new sugya. What about holes in Reshut HaRabim? In other words, I'm on a highway. And the highway has this wall, Shalom Aleichem. The highway has this noise wall. to protect the citizens on the other side of the highway. And now I need to charge my phone. I need to put my phone down somewhere. So I had this little hole in the wall. That's a hole in Reshut HaRabim. What's the halacha? Abaye oimer ki Reshut HaRabim domu. It has the halacha of Reshut HaRabim. Rav oimer lav ki Reshut HaRabim domu. Now what? So what is it? Well, it's a makom what? Why? How big is it? How many tfachim is it? This hole?
Not 4.
If it's less than 4, he's right. It's a makom tur. If it's more than 4, then what does it turn into? Karameilit.
Go back to Malachot Rashi.
No, it's not an obstruction of Reshut HaRabim. It's an extension to Reshut HaRabim. It's a shelf beyond Reshut HaRabim. It's the wall that divides Reshut HaRabim and Reshut HaYachid. It's in the wall. See there, Reshut HaRabim, right. By the way, we're doing a daf today because we started in the middle of Amud Beis and we're here already at the middle of Amud Beis. According to you, that you say that the holes of Reshut HaRabim are like Reshut HaRabim. Look at this beautiful picture. You guys remember this? In this beautiful picture, we said that see the Reshut HaRabim, it's an indentation in the Reshut HaRabim, is not Reshut HaRabim. Why is this not Reshut HaRabim? There's a hole in Reshut HaRabim. Look at this. It's a hole. Don't you see a shelf here? Either way you look at it, I don't know. Look at it like this. It's a shelf. In the middle of Reshut HaRabim, it should be part of Reshut HaRabim. And we called it before. What do we call this? A Karameilit. Right? The word Karameilit came to include this special case of an indentation in Reshut HaRabim. It should be an extension of Reshut HaRabim and not a Karameilit. Says the Gemara, try to understand this. This is really impossible to use. If I'm driving down the highway, I can extend my hand out the window and place my phone there to recharge if there's a hole in the wall. But to come into this little guy over here, this outlook post that they have on the highway, that's very difficult. Should we go weiter? Yeah, we got a minute. Not. You don't come in with the Shabbos, you want me to finish the daf. By the way, whoever doesn't want to come in with the Shabbos will be very happy to accept your abstinence. We're looking for people to volunteer not to come into Shabbos. We cannot have 100 people. More than 100 people is not very good. Even more than 60, 70 is not good. So try to watch from home, Nachman. So this we had already. A guy's playing some game. He's trying to put the silly putty on the wall. Under 10 tvachim is great. Yichayev. Great, by the way. David doesn't know, but we're trying to find this guy that's trying to be over Yisurim. That's what the whole Gemara is about. These guys are trying to do Yisurim. How does he do an Isser? He finds the right way, under 10 tvachim. The problem is, if he has a basketball and he throws it at the wall, what's going to happen to the ball? It's going to bounce right back in his face. So he never had a 4 amma hoitzah. A big fat fig. Now, according to you, that you say that the holes in Reshut HaRabim are like Reshut HaRabim. Just say there's a little hole in the wall. Why do you have to come up with a funny case of a fig? Sometimes you would answer that no, you can't say a regular item because that's going to fall out of the hole. It's very hard to get it to stick unless you're a professional amusement park player. Because of the less beichar, we're talking about a wall that doesn't have a hole. If the Reisha says that he threw it above 10 tfachim, it's like throwing it in the ear. If we're talking about a wall that has holes, then above 10 tfachim also has to have a wall. It has to be similar in the case. At the end of the day, it's going to land in that hole. Oh, and one more halacha here for today. Let's say this wall doesn't have a 4x4 area. Now it's a new concept. Even if it doesn't have 4x4, we pretend it does. It's called chaykikin. Halachically, we could carve out of the wall. Zorg l'mal asor tzvachim and v'olcha v'nocha b'chor kol shu b'nam l'chayis v'remeir v'rabbanon. The remeir savar chaykim lashtem v'rabbanon sarvei chaykim lashtem. Over here it's a stam mishnah. All stam mishnahs, anonymous mishnahs are usually authored by Rabbi Meir. And Mamela fits right into Meir that he holds you could do chakika, you could be mashlim, because the less bechar, and therefore it fits into the second teretz. There's no hole, because if it had a hole, you should be chayiv even above 10 tvachim. Shema Mino. Motzei Shabbos 7:30. What are we talking about? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.